got to me. She said we should hook up the boyfriend and boogie. Don't know me, they look on. I'm being aroused. Pool full of Henny, I drink and I drown.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sam from Harkey Fishing, and man, we're coming at you from Costa Rica, baby. I mean, we got to go this first part of this month, and it's basically just 1st of April now, and man, I tell you, we had a great time in Costa Rica. And so basically what I'm going to show you here is a whole lot of recordings of kind of what we're doing. Man, it's really hard to make videos on ocean fishing because all you do is basically spend the majority of your time reeling and fighting this fish. But we're down here catching sailfish with the Good Day team in Costa Rica, man. If you're ever in Costa Rica, you got to hit these guys up. I'll see if I can't get a link to them in the description. But it's a Good Day team, Costa Rica. So, man, check them out if you're ever down there. This is my father-in-law, Gary, man. He's hooked up into a really, really nice sailfish. And, man, these sailfish, you talk about fighting. These things like to fight, and they like to catch some air. And you're going to see it here in a little bit. This little rascal gets up on top, and, man, do they ever do some dancing. And these things are averaging somewhere between, anywhere from, 60 pounds up to about 100 pounds. And, gosh, they put up a heck of a fight, and a lot of these recordings are just the tail end of the fight when they get up close to the boat. But everything we do here on the sailfish and the marlin, it's all catch and release. We want to make sure that we preserve these billfish species, and so you can see there that thing's beautiful fan, and I mean it's just crystal clear water, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous water, and we pluck the hooks out of them and set them free. And so this is my buddy Brian, man. He's hooked into some good fish right here, and this one here about whipped his butt. He had a real hard time with this one, but boy howdy, you talk about a fun fight. When you got done with this, you were sweating, and you felt it. And so this is a good fight on one of these things. Man, Costa Rica, I can't say enough about Costa Rica. We started the trip off, flew into San Jose, and made about an hour and a half drive over to near Jaco, Costa Rica, and stayed over there. And I can't even pronounce the name of the little town, in the Los Sueños Resort. Boy, we had a good time, and the scenery in Costa Rica was amazing. I was totally expecting this thing to be, basically it to be coastal type stuff that was, that maybe was fairly flat. But man, there were mountains, and just we got to see macaws flying wild, monkeys, all sorts of crazy stuff. So. And man, the guys at the Good Day team, they just took first class care of us. We always had snacks on the boat, cinnamon rolls every morning, fed us a great lunch, and we just had a really good time there. And so you can see Brian and this little sailfish, man, he was giving them heck, and so we got that one landed, and now we got the next fish on. I believe this one may be our let's see what this one is here. I don't know if this is one of those sailfish there or what, but we just about got it to the boat. And man, it's just like I said, it's just so exhilarating fighting a fish that has so much fight in it. We're totally used to in our bass fishing and stuff. A good bass will fight for a minute or two. Yeah, this is Mike. He's hooked up with a marlin, and this thing weighs just about 200 pounds. And watch what it does here in just a second. This thing, I mean, it decides to fight, and man, thank goodness we had a great boat captain. Man, he really knew what to do as far as positioning that boat to keep that thing fighting. And here in just a second, this thing just goes crazy. There it goes. Watch this sucker, how long he walks on top of that water.
Try to grab the camera, take a video. Here's one. Reel.
That fish does not want to be caught. Look at that thing go. I still get chills just watching this. I mean, that fish did not want to come in, and he put up a fight to just beat all fights, and we clip off of this thing pretty quickly, but that fish took about 25-30 minutes to catch. So this thing's been edited so much. But you can see the boat captain there. That fish came right at us, and the boat captain used the motor to help make sure that we could reel the line up tight enough, or else that fish would have got off. So man, the crew there, Carlos and the crew, just really knew what they were doing, and really can help you out in catching the fish of a lifetime. I mean, I'd never caught a sailfish until this trip. I'd never even seen a marlin in a while until this trip. And wow, I mean, did we ever get some nice fish caught. I think we ended the trip catching 7 sailfish, and we caught the 1 marlin, which is a little rare to catch those, so we were super happy to get to catch one of those. And we caught a couple of mahi-mahi, which you're going to see here in a minute, and then we caught some tuna, and yellowfin tuna, man, and those tuna really fight too, so quite a deal, man, and just getting to fight these things. Poor Mike was about ready to give up about this point right here, and we were cheering him on. I wish I should listen to the audio, because we're all hooping and hollering and just screaming like crazy, and just so excited. The captain and Carlos are yelling out orders of what to do and everything, and so we just kept cheering each other on, and Mike got this thing landed, and this is a pretty long video, but gosh, the marlin was so stinking exciting to catch. You can see he's just now getting up close to the lure. The lure will slide up and down the line, and this marlin hit that lure, but there was a hook in the lure, and there he goes again. Look at that thing. That thing just, like I said, I get chills every time I watch it. So it is, man, it was an exciting fight, and we typically fish for those sailfish with a little fish called a ballyhoo, and man, it was really interesting watching Carlos rig these things up. It's live bait. Well, I say it's live bait, it's dead bait, but it was live, and they rig it up a special way with some different wires to help that thing swim, just like a normal fish would. And then we troll with that at about 7 to 8 miles an hour behind the boat, and let those fish, see that. They also use some fish attractors, and you may see some of those in the video. It's pretty interesting. They put those on the outriggers, and they drag about 30 feet behind the boat, and they look like a little string of about 5 or 6 squid, and then they had a little popper type bait, on the back of it. And look at that picture of that marlin. That's crazy. This is I believe this is one of the mahi-mahis that we caught here, and this is yours truly trying to reel this rascal in, and this was by far my personal best mahi-mahi, and I think we estimated this one at around 45 to 50 pounds, and boy, it was a good one. The sad part about this is I hooked one about 10 pounds bigger than this, and got him almost in, and he jumped and come off, and so that's it. That's what fishing's all about. Sometimes you really catch them, and sometimes you don't. But man, this mahi was a big mahi, and gosh, it's so much fun when you catch these things. That thing's just doing somersaults out there in the water, and it's just so fun, the camaraderie. This was a guy's trip for us, and man, we had a good time with Mike and Brian and Gary and me, and boy, I tell you what, if you ever can go to Costa Rica, it is the ocean fishing trip of a lifetime. And if you go, make sure to go with that Good Day team, because boy, they do a great job. So let's see what we got here next. See if we can get this thing in the boat. We just about got him. I tell you, every time you think you just about got the fish, they have at least one more run in them. And boy, those things will turn down and take that string right back off the reel. Everything you gained, and pretty demoralizing sometimes when you think you've about got them and you're about to get a break, and they take off again. So this little mahi had a few of those runs in him, and he was a fighter, and really a good time. Some of the most interesting things we saw when we were in Costa Rica, as far as just sightseeing, we didn't do a whole lot of sightseeing. We went there to fish, but on the way there, we stopped at a bridge that was loaded with crocodiles in the river below. And man, that was nuts. Those crocodiles are huge. And I tried to pay the bus driver $20 to swim across there for us, so that we could kind of see how they responded, but he refused. Imagine that. There were a few stories of people that had attempted to do that, usually with some liquid encouragement, and I think they said they found both their heads downstream a little ways and nothing else. So not a real wise idea to try to cross the Crocodile River there. But yeah, that was a really neat thing we saw, and gosh, Costa Rica's got a lot to offer. There's a lot of tourism things there, a lot of kind of jungle tours, and there's I guess a national park or a state park or whatever they call them in Costa Rica. Beautiful scenery down there. Like I said, we went to fish though, so we did that. And so man, this mahi just keeps on fighting, but we've just about got him. Right there, my hands were about numb. I couldn't pull it with my left arm. I had to get all of it with my right. There you Diego's taking some more line out. If you don't see me pulling, he's
there
stripping
he
line.
goes.
So when they're pulling line, you don't reel. You just let them pull line. And once they quit, you reel down fast and you just slowly pick that rod up. And I was critiquing my video, and I noticed I would go down and almost hit the edge of the boat. Boy, you don't want to hit the edge of the boat with your rod. And so, if you're ever fighting these things, be careful. But yeah, you come up slow and try not to let them pull drag out, and reel down fast, and see if you can just get them to gain some ground there. So there we got it. There's the picture of him. And I mean, like I said, he was a good one. I was pretty excited. Check out this craziness. This was the other thing that just blew my mind. Those are porpoises in Mexico, or dolphins is what we Americans call them. And there were thousands and thousands and thousands of these dolphins down there. And they're all feeding on basically sardines. There's a school of sardines in this area, and those dolphins are feeding on them. And they don't, most of them don't do too much crazy jumping. You just see them kind of barely surfacing the top of the water and doing their little deal there while they feed. And what was in with those dolphins is that right there, yellowfin tuna. And had several videos, but the tuna fight totally different. They go down, they don't fight. So, man, I appreciate you watching. Have a great day. Keep your lines wet.